went into the Walmart masked, put a bunch of fireworks from the Walmart into a shopping cart, set them off, pushed it into like the clothes section so it would explode and everything would catch on fire. And then he went through and like collected all the diamonds and things from the jewelry section and then left. And you just have to go, okay, now continuing on with my day, hoping that doesn't happen to me. What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to Big Sister. We are talking about mental health and burnout. I'm a high school teacher, so I have to combat this every day, and I watch my teacher friends combat it every day. Obviously, if you're not a teacher, you have to deal with this as well. It just seems that teachers tend to go through it really quickly. Dude, there is some crazy stuff that happens like in the school, in the community, that you just have to like deal with and keep it pushing. Like there's a Walmart a little bit locally near here. A guy went into the Walmart masked, put a bunch of fireworks from the Walmart into a shopping cart, set them off, pushed it into like the clothes section so it would explode and everything would catch on fire. And then he went through and like collected all the diamonds and things from the jewelry section and then left. And you just have to go, okay, now continuing on with my day, hoping that doesn't happen to me. That's crazy. Dude, the things that people do when they're like not right in the head, when they're hurt, when they're upset, when they're confused, when they're when they're tight on money, the lengths that people will go to get what they want is like getting more and more ridiculous. I just think that there's ways around this, and I think there's ways to give grace to these people, but also be like, hey, what are we doing as a generation? Hey, what is going on? But especially in the teacher context, like we hear things like I heard that and went, oh, okay, so a Tuesday. Like that it almost like didn't faze me at all until I really thought about it, and I was like, oh no, that's actually crazy. But when you're a teacher and like depending on the area that you work in, these types of things that you hear about just become like quasi normal. And I think that's insane. So especially when you're dealing with like students' mental health and you're teaching iPad kids and some of your coworkers are low-key iPad kids. And it's a constant, it's an age of comparison, and it's an age of getting what you want immediately. It can be hard to be in front of high school. So I'm in front of like 30 teenagers who may or may not want to be there. And sometimes I'm like, I'm talking to a brick wall and I need to keep it pushing. and we have 90-minute blocks. So how do I get to this how do I get to the end of this 90 minutes and not go insane and make sure it's all filled up and not too filled up to where we're running out of time, but also filled up enough to where they're entertained, but also not that much filled up to where there's like downtime and where their brains get bored, because it's like you're performing for them. How can I say this in the most exciting way? And also this kid has this problem going on. Also this kid has this problem going on. And this kid opened up to me about this situation. How do I have all that? I need to do this student learning objective. I'm getting observed next block. So I need to have that whole lesson plan and standards aligned well. And how can I do all these things and differentiate my lessons and be a human in front of them? I think there's just, I'm 25. I'm pretty young when it comes in the teacher game. But I think I've gotten pretty good at trying to balance that out so it doesn't get to a point of burnout, because it has gotten to a point of burnout and it's not cute. It doesn't feel good. You go to your job, you like the idea of going back to work just feels like I can't do it. I just can't. I can't get to this 90 minutes. I can't go to homeroom. I can't do it. It's just like I would just rather sit in bed in silence all day. And sometimes that's okay. But I think there's ways that we can prevent doing that to where we don't go insane and we don't quit our jobs. Full disclosure, just a warning, if you want to quit teaching and you really feel like that's on your heart, that you need to go to something else, this is not me saying that you shouldn't do that at all. If your heart is being called to something else, I think it's not good for you or anybody else involved if you just like kind of push through it into something that like your heart isn't in, I think you that's a whole separate situation. What I'm talking about is preventing burnout for someone who this is your passion. You do want to stay in it. You do love what's going on. It's just that emotionally, spiritually, mentally, something's not clicking where you can feel like a person and do that at the same time. Especially on top of what I do, I'm coaching, I direct our theater, I'm working my master's degree, my part-time job is like content creation. So, and how do I do all that and also be a person? When it comes down to it, how can I deliver content to students and still behave like a normal human being and still be myself in front of them? That's what I'm talking about. So buckle up, because these things are, even while I'm writing them out, these things are convicting for me of like, oh, you haven't done this in a long time. The first thing that I get, the first piece of advice that I ever give to people, or my student teacher, or anybody getting into teaching, actually, I would say in general, anybody getting into any profession where you're pouring into people, I guess that's any job. Anybody, if you're getting into anything that you're passionate about, rule number 1 is have a village. Keep your people. Have people around you that pour into you. These can be people your age. I highly recommend they're people your age. And also I recommend having people who are older than you. Maybe in your field of work or maybe not, but people who are older than you who can give you some kind of perspective on what's going on. I'm 25. I can go to my 25-year-old friends and they're going to relate to what I'm going through probably. If I go to one of my 40-year-old friends, one of my 40-year-old mentors, and say, hey, this is what's going on, their perspective is one of, hey, I've low-key been through that and I've come from the other side of it. So this is what I can understand and speak to, and knowing that there is another side to this. So have friends, pour into them, and have people who are older than you in your field of work, not in your field of work, that can give you that when needed, and low-key when I didn't ask for it, because when I don't ask for it is usually when I need it, unfortunately. But it also comes with be willing to receive positive and negative and constructive. I think a huge thing that I struggled with is pouring into people, but I was almost incapable of being poured back into. I was not receptive to love back. I was not receptive to somebody caring about me back. I just wanted to give. And I was almost uncomfortable with somebody trying to do it back to me, which doesn't really make any sense. But it's almost this state of like, oh, well, what do you want? Oh, well, now like I owe you something. Well, that's not at all the case. Now I feel like I've been redeemed from that and I've worked through that. But there's still some remnants of like, I'm having to be mindful about, no, let this person wants to pour into you, let them. This person wants to like give you a compliment, let them. Don't just like deflect and give it. You can give it back to them, but don't just deflect. Actually receive it. Say thank you. And then if you would like to give one back, you may, but you don't have to. You don't have to deflect and like put the attention on somebody else. Don't diagnose me. I'm sure that there's a rhyme and reason for that mentally and psychologically. But that's just something that I guess that's my default setting is I'm uncomfortable being poured into. I'm uncomfortable somebody giving me a compliment. So be willing to accept that. Be willing to accept that. Be willing, if someone wants to get coffee with you, opt to say yes. If somebody wants to hang out with you after a thing, opt to say yes. Make that your default. If you're really tired and you're really not feeling it, or you really like something's going on and you just need a second, say no. You're fully allowed to say no. Nothing I'm saying is being like, oh, you need to do more. You need to take on more things. But what I am saying is that often the thing, we get so tired, so we think, oh, I need to stop. I need to go home. When really it's being, and also this is coming from an extrovert. So actually me being around people is what is going to make me the most energized, and what's going to like bring me alive and fill me up again is, okay, I'm tired, but my friends are going to get ice cream. I should go get ice cream, even if I just go for 40 minutes. But 9 times out of 10, if I plan on, okay, I'll be there for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, I end up being there so much longer and having the best time. If I just not gone because like, oh, I'm tired, I end up feeling much more energized because I was hanging out with my friends and letting them pour into me and just having a chat, having a time. And all of this comes around to not letting my job be the center of my life. I'm very passionate about my job. I talk about my job a lot. A large portion of my platform, a significant large portion of my platform is my job and showing things from that. And also, it's not my whole life. I'm talking to people about things that aren't my job. I have friends that aren't from my job. I have activities going on that have nothing to do with my job. Letting things and people pour into you that have nothing to do with work. That's the first thing. Anytime someone asks me for advice about being a teacher or just doing something that they're passionate about, having things and people set up to where that have nothing to do with the job. That you have a holistic life that is outside of it. I've found that my best work, even if something about songwriting or just making music in general, or my best ideas when it comes to work have come because I'm able to live a life. My best content creation ideas have come from me just living my life, having nothing to do with content creation. An idea pops into my head of like, oh, I can make that video and I can write it down. Having things that have nothing to do with what you're passionate about is going to help you in that passion and going to help that passion become sustainable and not almost like love bombing yourself, where it's like, I'm so passionate, so I need to write 17 songs today. I need to do this, or I need to make the best lesson plan every single day. It makes it more sustainable and more achievable if you have things and people who are pouring into you that don't have anything to do with it. It's more holistic that way, I found in my own personal experience. But again, I'm an extrovert. Introverts, y'all can pipe up and tell me if that's different. But I've also noticed that even in my introvert friends, they have more of a tendency to be like, oh no, I'm just going to go home. And I think that can fill you up. And I do enjoy my alone time. I'm having alone time right now, low key. I'm about to go hang out with my friends later. But I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I just came back from hanging out with my friends, and I'm going to go hang out with them later. I just set aside this alone time. So I think it's being disciplined in what does alone time look like, and how can I be intentional about it? And also, how can I be intentional about hanging out with said friends, going and doing said things that have nothing to do with my job. I'm recording this on a Sunday night. I have work tomorrow, and that's okay. Not to say it's a tomorrow problem, but I have a whole day to live. I have a whole life to live that it's not just Sunday. Oh, it's Sunday night. I have to start thinking about work on Monday. No, I have a whole day. I have a whole Sunday to think about it just being Sunday. And I have several hours it can just be the several hours and have nothing to do with the next day. And that's something that I really struggle with is like time anxiety. Where, and I've always been like this. Mom, if you're watching this, shut up. But she always tells this story about how even as a kid, if something was due in a month, it needed to be done right then and there. I feel like in my person, time is like tomorrow. 1 month is literally tomorrow. Or even I tend to do the same thing directing. It's like, okay, we have 3 weeks left until the musical. Jesus Christ, it's going to be here tomorrow. Hey, but 3 weeks, it's not that long of a time. It's going to go by quickly, but it is a long time. So I think it's the same thing thinking about your life this way, where not everything is just, oh, it's Sunday at 6:00. Better start thinking about work tomorrow. No. Go get some ice cream with your friends. Go start a new book. Try that new product that you got from Ulta or Sephora. Do something. Do some coloring pages. Write a new song. So even if it's hang out with your friends or not, do something that has nothing to do with tomorrow, because all you have is today. That's what's helped me a lot as far as preventing teacher burnout, is getting your cup filled outside of it. The second thing that has to do with that is to do those things during the week. Have plans during the week that have nothing to do with your job. So when I'm coaching, I usually get off at like 5. I still have several hours before I need to go to bed again. I can go to the gym. I can go to the gym with a friend. I can cook dinner with a friend. I can start the new book. I just got this new book. We're reading it for my book club. Some of my teacher friends and I, we have a little book club. Shout out Sam, Maggie, and Grace. We have a little book club, and the first book we read was God of the Woods. Then we read The Compound, which is really good. It's like a Love Island with Hunger Games. It was excellent. And now we're reading The Briar Club. They already started it. I haven't. So you're good. Don't tell them. But have things this has nothing to do with my job, nothing to do with music, but it gives us something common to talk about, and we get to talk about it once a month. This book that we're reading together. So do that during the week. Have a book that you like during the week. Write a song during the week. Go hang out with your friends. Go on a date. Oh my God, go on a date. Go on a self date. Go on a friend date during the week. Don't just leave the work week to be just work. Do things. Don't leave fun things for the weekend, because then the weekend's going to go by and you go, well, now I have to work again. Your life doesn't just start on Friday night. Your life doesn't start on Friday at 5 p.m. Your life is happening now. So plan things now. Do things now. If they're asking to go get, again, ice cream seems to be the theme of the day. If they're asking to go get ice cream at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday or Wednesday, girl, go get ice cream. Go, or if you don't want to get ice cream, go hang out with your friends. It's going to help you, and it's going to feel good, and you're going to feel more fulfilled the next day for work, or just you living your life in general. But do things during the week that make you feel good, that you're seeing people that you don't see at your job, seeing people doing things that have nothing to do with your job. But that also comes with pouring into things that have nothing to do with your job. So getting poured into during the week, and pour into things that aren't work. Get involved with a local charity, a local soup kitchen, or your church, mosque, temple. Get involved, serve with your friends. Like I said, do something where you're doing something for your friends during the week, or on the weekends or whatever, but be pouring into something that's not your job. A huge question that I get a lot is, especially in preparation for this podcast, was how as an adult to make friends, because up until now it's been like convenience based. So school, soccer team, college, you make friends in class, so then you become roommates, so then your roommates is friends. It was all like location based and convenience based. But now we're adults, and if we want to hang out with someone, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to see them at class tomorrow. It's like I have to intentionally make time to hang out with that person, especially if I don't work with them, or if like I'm a teacher, obviously, like I said, it's just me and a bunch of teenagers. Even my work friends, I could easily not see all day, which is crazy because we're in the same building. So if I want to see them, I have to make time to go see them during the school day or outside of school. Or my friends that I have from church. Yeah, I'll see them maybe at a church event, but if I really, we're usually serving or doing something. So if I really want to hang out with them, we need to make time outside of that. This seems like counterproductive. It's like, well, if I want to get better at my job, shouldn't everything you're saying be job related? No. Because especially if your job, like I said, if your job is something that you're passionate about, passion lasts this long. What you want to do is be passionate about it and love it, but be able to sustain that love. Love is an action. So it's opening yourself up to receive, giving. It's just like a glass of water. If you are constantly giving to your job, but nothing is pouring back into you, you're just pouring out emptiness to your job. Letting people pour into you, pouring back into them because they're going to pour more into you. Then you can, because you have this overflow, you can pour it into more friends. You can pour it into your job. And like I said, get involved. Not to add more to, don't think of it as adding it more to your plate, but it's expanding your capacity for humanness. Life is so short to revolve everything around the school day. And while school is important, your job is important. It's your financial success is important. Your financial growth is important, and being able to live, pay rent, excellent. Me personally, think it's an excellent thing. But it's not everything. So if you want to grow and sustain that passion, you have to have other things. If I want my platforms to grow, like on social media. If I become I felt myself doing this, where I become so, not infatuated, but I want it so badly that all I can think about is that, but then the content becomes forced. It becomes inauthentic, and that's not who I am, and that's not what I want it to be. But when you want something and so passionate and you want it to be this thing, instead of just letting it be and letting it breathe, and I don't have to post every day. I don't have to, my lesson plans, they don't have to be the best every day. I don't have to jam pack everything 90 minutes full. I don't have to, when I come home, grade all this stuff, grade part checks, or I leave my work. First of all, I leave my work computer at work, first and foremost. But it really, especially as I'm working and coaching and directing and doing my master's degree, that's been the one thing that's really filled me and kept my ideas flowing and that pipeline open and that passion open, is that I let myself not think about it. I let myself be around other people. I hear about their passions. I get to share mine. Where if I close myself off, because that's what kind of our culture does, is like everything is so independent. Everything is so productive. Everything is so optimization all the time, where you can't max out every single time. Any good lifter will tell you is you cannot PR every single time. You cannot. And actually, it's not good if you're trying to PR with every single lift, you're going to hurt yourself. And then guess who's not lifting ever again? Or for a long time. You're not going to write the best song every time. You're not going to write the best lesson plan. You're not going to make the best Excel sheet or whatever it is that y'all be doing who are not teachers. It's not going to be the best every time. But if you're constantly thinking about that Excel sheet, you're constantly thinking about that song, you're constantly thinking about da-da-da-da, you're not going to be able to see life outside of it, which is going to make it forced. It's going to make it this shallow, one-dimensional thing when you're passionate about something that's not what it is to you, so that's not representative of you. Allow yourself to open up and be poured into and you pour into things that have nothing to do with your job. And then from there, it kind of just flows. So like I said, preventing teacher burnout, this looks like, my friends always, actually, they were just making fun of me for it. My catchphrase is, if you like it, I love it. If I'm pouring into students, especially if they're coming to me with their problems, or maybe there's a relationship that they're in and out of and they're asking for my advice. If they're asking me for my advice and they're not following it, or I just know that they're not going to listen, the best thing I can do for them is just to be consistent and to love on myself and to not get emotionally frustrated when they do. Like I said, they're teenagers. I remember what I was thinking as a teenager, and I was low-key an idiot. Who I am now is not at all. Those are two different people. But it's giving them that time and love to be able to come to that conclusion themselves, make those decisions. And then when you're ready to talk about it, I'm here for you. But if I'm getting emotionally frustrated and I'm like, oh, this kid is going through that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing, while that's important to care about, important to think about, you can't dwell on it. And actually, this is the chapter that I'm reading right now in Joseph Wang's Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's so... A dog got a hold of it. Don't judge me. But it's a difference between thoughts and thinking. Well, I can have thoughts of care and thoughts of ideas and creative ideas. If I'm thinking about them and dwelling on them, then it's going to turn into anxiety. It's going to turn into an inauthentic solution, or just something that doesn't really work for me or represent me, and where I just suffer. And I think that's what burnout is letting your mind suffer, or giving hold to thoughts of not being enough, not being able to do enough, something you just, it's not working out, there's nothing that I can do. And it's not hopelessness. Me not doing anything is not hopelessness. If you like it, I love it. If that's really what you want to do, and you're going to do it anyway. So whenever you're ready to talk about it, I'm here. But until then, if you like it, I love it. It's letting go of that stronghold of like needing everything to be what I think it should be. And that, I think, is the biggest thing with burnout, is I need it to be this thing. And if it's not this thing, then it's frustrating me. So I think about how frustrating it is, and it carries on through the rest of my day. And then I feel depressed and I don't want to get out of bed, which makes me isolate myself even more. And that's the last thing that's going to help you. While that's what kind of we do in America, is isolate and be independent and be pull myself up by my bootstraps and keep it pushing. It's not sustainable. And it's not how we were meant to be as humans. So if you want to prevent burnout, especially teacher burnout, you got to pour into something that's not work. You got to let those people from not work, or people from work, pour into you. And you got to make plans during the week, girl. You got to. There's no other way, I fear. There's no other way. You have this whole beautiful life to live that has nothing to do with your job. Consequently, it's going to end up helping you with your job. I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. That's how it's got to be. I'm sorry, I know. This has been another episode of Big Sister, and we reached 100K on Instagram, which is absolutely crazy. Thank y'all so much. This is such a cool community of people. Y'all bring so much positivity and encouragement into my life, and you really speak life over me, and I really appreciate y'all and just supporting me the whole way. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment how maybe this helped you, or if you think that there's a topic we should talk about in the future. Bye, y'all.